Teraz spróbujmy trochę przyjrzeć się konsumentowi, ale troszeczkę inaczej, trochę z innego punktu widzenia. Co go angażuje, zadając takie pytanie? Co może przykuć jego uwagę i zatrzymać go na dłużej, o czym mówiliśmy wcześniej, że to jest właściwie warunek sine qua non tego, żeby marka była rozpoznawalna i pozostawała rozpoznawalna. Flipping the funnel, czyli content before distribution. Przed Państwem wystąpi przedsiębiorca w dziedzinie digital i content marketingu, jeden z pierwszych aktywistów social mediowych w Izraelu, wcześniej dziennikarz również, kolega po fachu, i jeden z założycieli The Marker, czyli najpoważniejszej gazety gospodarczej Izraela. Sagi Chemetz. Zapraszamy na scenę.
Hello? Do you hear me? Yeah? Yeah. In Israel we call it Madonna. I don't know if you call it Madonna over here, but I think we change. We can call it maybe Jay-Z or something. You can't call it Madonna anymore. Good morning. Good morning, Washa. You have a lovely weather here. I see you changed the weather because I heard you don't have such a good weather here. My name is Sagi Chemetz. I'm an entrepreneur from Israel. I was a journalist for many, many years. I co-founded The Marker. It was one of the first business website in Israel, and that became a very strong brand. 11, 12 years ago, I made a change. I started my own shop and I opened Blink. Blink was the first social media agency in Israel. It was back in 2006, and back then it was called Web 2.0. Who remember Web 2.0? Nobody. Whoa, you're all so young and I'm so old. Back then it was called Web 2.0, and we were, among others, one of the first social media agencies in that field in the world. I've come here today to talk with you about the significant change we see in our industry and how to adapt and adjust to it. I'll start with previously in the last chapters, where previously the internet is disrupting industry. It disrupts them, turn them apart, sometimes finish them. It disrupts the music industry. It disrupts the classified industry. It disrupts the telecom industry. And now it's disrupting marketing and advertising as we know it. It's not just a change. Like, you know, the Thai say same, but different. Nothing is the same. It's a tremendous change, fundamental change. It's not just a language change, a creative change, or a medium change. It's a culture change. It's a generation change. I don't know how many of you know this picture, but I think it tells a lot. We're living in a generation, we're living in a time with me in the picture. I'm in the middle. I think it's also a good time. Well, you know, Kim Kardashian have a book called Selfish. It has no words, just picture. It's a joke. Good morning. I think it's a time we'll have a selfie, because if we don't have a selfie, we are not there, we won't be in the feed. So please, wake up and smile. Oh. People scroll a day, on average, 93 meters on their feeds. 93 meters on average a day on their news feed. The height of the Statue of Liberty. We need today, as marketeers, to get inside these 93 meters. And we need to win many algorithms in the way, because then algorithms control these 93 meters. And as each one of us knows here, these 90 meters are very, very fast and not easy to reach. They say one picture worth 1,000 words. Well, this chart will worth $1 million in dollars. Well, 2017 were the first time a tipping point also in ad spend. Digital ad spend overtook television ad spend. And as you see here at the magma chart, it won't go back. It's just going to be more and more digital ad spending. Okay, sorry. So, how can we change and win? How can we do it? I think the biggest change that is in front of us, the biggest change we need to do today is not a change in what we do. It's a change in how we think. In this algorithm world, in this 93 meters, in this selfie world, in this Kim Kardashian world, we need to change not what we do. We need to change how we think. We live in a distribution industry. Let's be honest with ourselves, and we are in the Havas Media conference. Our industry for many, many years, more than 60 years, is a distribution industry. We're mastering the tool. We're mastering the distribution tool. TRP, GRP, PPC, eyeballs. We're living in a reach and frequency world. In the world of 93 meters of scrolling a day, we cannot live more, we cannot master these tools anymore. We can't go with the distribution. Alicia talked here about disruption and talked here about Nike. We'll talk in a minute about Nike, how they change the way they think, how they change the way they craft content. They moved from just do it, that is just a pushing message, to just doing it. They help you to do it. We need to move from a distribution first world to a content before distribution. This is our philosophy, and this is how I build my agency around content. I started the agency, well, almost 12 years ago. We were 2 people. Today, we are 45 people. We are the biggest company in our field. We are growing double digit, and 6 months ago, we were bought, or Havas Group bought a majority stake at Blink, and we become a proud part of the Havas family. We did all our growing based on this philosophy. We put the content before the distribution. I'm not saying we don't need the distribution anymore. Distribution is more important than ever. If you look at the Google reports, if you look at the Facebook reports, if you go look at Outbrain, Tabula, you see that media is on the rise. But you need to put it somewhere else in the equation. This chart will worth you a lot. It's a research by Social Baker that analyzed, well, almost 27 promoted content over 2 years, from January 2015 to January 2017, comparing the interaction with the content and the click of the price. The conclusion is clear. Content that gets 5% interaction is 14 times cheaper to promote PPC-wise than content with 1%. Content that gets 5% interaction is 14 times cheaper to promote than content with 1%. Not 14%, 14 times. If you just can get 5% of the people that is reaching out by the content to do something with it. Share it, comment it, like it, put a nice emoji on it. Just 5% of them, you will get better price on your click and you get better viewers 14 times. $1, $14. $1,000, $14,000. And we are an industry that's fighting for every dollar. 14 times. In order to do this, you need to put the content before the distribution. You need to analyze the content, to understand the conversation. You need to know what's going on outside of your world with the content you want to work on. To win and achieve, in order to win and achieve results, you need to create the right, most relevant, and freshest content. I have a lot of CMOs saying to me, okay, I got you. You gave me an headache. I will put more money on Instagram. I will put more money in Snapchat. Just leave me alone. Okay, we got it. We put more money in digital. And I'm saying, okay, how many kilos you want in Instagram? Because I have a special offer. 10 kilos in Instagram will bring you 2 kilos free in Snapchat. Thank you. I brought her from home. That's why she's laughing. It's not just putting the money. It's shifting the way you think. Money won't get you there. You can send things to the moon. You can do the most beautiful video clips that you can do. You can bring the most talented things. But if you want shift from distribution first to content first, if you don't understand the conversation, it won't go. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be fresh. It needs to be talkable. If no one talks about you, you are not there. We talked about algorithm. Let's talk a little bit about Instagram algorithm. Instagram algorithm takes your content and shows it to 10% of your followers for half an hour. This is how it starts. In this half an hour, he analyzes how people react to the content. If they don't react, it sinks. If people react, it goes up. We build a plan called whitelist, marketing to the 10%. We build white lists of clients, of users in our brand's pages, and we watch this 10%. This is the 10% we want them to react, because they are the guys who talked the most, the best things on our brands. They talked the most on our pages. We build a list and we market to this 10%. When we're crafting content, we think about them. When we're pushing content out, we see how they react and we push it harder. You need to do the relevant content. You need to understand the audience. You need to understand the audience closely. We saw in the very interesting session of Alicia the change between how brand people thinks about them and what people really thinks about them. How brand thinks how meaningful they are in people's lives and how people thinks what's meaning for them. In the world where the people is moving the content, you need to take off this barrier. You need to have the right, most relevant, and freshest content. Most brands, we talked about distribution, most brands promote most of the content. Well, we do it, we did it, we built it, we shoot it. Why don't we push it? But sometimes it happens, content is bad, or just boring, or don't fit the medium. Bad content leads to high distribution costs and to negative conversation. We see not once, not twice, brands sponsoring negative conversation about themselves. It's not your brands, I'm sure, but I saw it. Brands putting money, and if you go down on the content, you see people saying, well, bad things about them. And they keep paying for it. Don't promote all your content. Check with your 10%. Bring them closer. This is a campaign we did for Yoplait to launch a new product, I think fruit on top. And we analyzed, on the left you see the TV commercial, the 30-second spot that we pushed via the web, Google, YouTube, Facebook, etc. And on the right is a special content we craft for Facebook. This we craft for Facebook, and we have different content we craft for Instagram, and different content we craft for Snapchat. We analyze the numbers and the conversation, but I want to show you first the movies, and then we'll talk about the results. This is the 30-second spot. Well, it is what it is. You see it, it's very high level production, and the sound is also very, the sound here is not so good, but yeah, it's very pushy, and it says it's extra good. And this is our spot. Is there a sound? It has a great sound. Oh. This is a trend that was when we did this spot. There's a trend called satisfied in Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. Movies that can go along half an hour. You can binge seeing and not running for half an hour, just seeing things moving on the screen. It was a trend. We took it. We made it. I don't know if we made it an ad. I'm not calling it an ad, but we made him a content spot. So if we'll go back to the results, we pushed this, the left side, the TV commercial, we pushed with 25% more budget because, well, it's a high-level production, and we want, the brand always want to reach as many people as it can with this kind of production, and this is the results. We got 1.3 million unique impressions to this one, and I remind you, I don't know what do you know about Israel, we are a small country. Our target audience is 5.5 million people, and we reach 1.3 million unique impressions versus less than a million with 25% more budget. We got more than 5 times shares. This is what brought us the viewers. We got more likes and, of course, more comments. But most important, I don't know if you see it right, but 70% of the conversation here was negative. Vegans, health conscious, all the haters group online. There's a lot of hater groups that like to talk, well, about their agendas. The message was so strong for them, and it was so noisy that they came and they wanted to fight. In our content that was very, therapeutic, and people just loved it, we got 93% positive conversations. People tagged their friends, asking them or calling them to see the clip. People, I remember one comment saying, "This is so nice, I'm going to buy the product." People love to interact with brands. People love brands. This didn't change. But they want you to talk with them in a different way, in more native way. You don't need to be beautiful. Don't think Super Bowl commercial. Be real. Be more real. I want to share with you a few of our work. We work today with more than 50 clients, and most of them big brands, but from car, food, fashion, all over categories. I want to start with this for Nestle ice cream. This is for Joya. The slogan was, "She's coming back big." I brought it here. Well, it's on a big screen. You see it. It's nice, but think about it. The ice cream. It's a hot day, humid. You're running, and you look at your feed. That's your Instagram feed, and the ice cream is going out for you. It was also a trend along the way for a few months. Cars went out, people went out. It's just a game. It's not a 3D or something, but it's nice. I brought it here to show you that you don't need to go big. First, we had 5 or 6 of these, and the white Joya, a black Joya, and different people, and the ice cream just went out of the screen, and it went viral in days. In days. We have more than 1.5 million views for this one. One more important thing that I think you can learn from this example is that you don't need to hide your brand. When I started working with content and brands, people were saying, well, push the brand to the end, put it down, turn the logo off, because they don't want to. I know if your brand is on your face, well, people don't want to share it. If you do it right, if you put the content before the distribution, people will push your content even if your product is in their face. This one for a product with protein, we worked closely with influencers, and I brought it here because, well, it's Facebook and Instagram stories, and I brought it here because we build an audience. We build an audience for the brand. We started with 5 influencers they are all sport trainers, known sport trainers on social media. We built a page called Go Fit on Facebook. We wanted to build a community of fitness lovers before we pushing the brand. First, we build the audience. We understood, we analyzed the conversation, we analyzed the field, and we saw that it's a need. There's a need for content from trainers that is around fitness. We built a big page on Facebook. We brought the target audience, and then we started a campaign. We built our audience. We created our own audience. We gave him good content. We talked with them. We answered them. They could ask questions, our 5 trainers. Then we launched it on Instagram stories. This one, if you are in Instagram, you know it's a new feature 6 or 7 months ago, polls. So as the poll started, we took these 5 personal trainers showing the product and asking what's the percentage of protein I have in this product. The story of the product is the percentage of protein that you have. We took the story, we built the audience, we took a new tool on Instagram and we ran with it. And it was very, very good. That was the launch, and now we're having our own community for fitness. This girl she's a makeup artist, she's an accountant, but online she's a makeup artist. She loves to make up herself. Can I have the sound louder? This is the Yople fruits. This girl loves to make herself up on Instagram and YouTube and show the audience. That's what she did. It's a hobby. She's an accountant, but this is how she builds her online persona. We knew her, and because the product is fruit on top, we asked her to paint herself with our fruits. It took her 2 days, and then we had this clip that went very, very, very viral. Again, we're going to talk a little bit later about content creators and influencers, but content creators are a great way to reach the audience and make him talk. And it's also a major shift in thinking. We didn't bring our story, our creative to her and present us, be our presenter. We came to her, we learned her, we tell her our narrative, we tell her what we want to tell. And we let her create the content and push it to her audience. So how can you do it right? How can you put the content before the distribution and be ahead and change? First, hire for culture. We talked about a culture change. We talked about generation change. We talked a little bit about millennials. I have 45 people, a lot of them are millennials. It's very hard to work with them more than 2 years. My father worked 60 years in the same place, and he was very proud. I worked 14 years in journalism, and when I left, it was 6 months of crying. Now, if they work 2 years in the same place, they feel, well, I don't know, I'm losing myself, I don't know where do I'm going. You are 26, what are you losing? Well, 26, you know, I will be 30. I'm almost 50. So it's a different culture, and we're marketing for a different culture. Advertising and marketing used to be a bridge for culture. You need to hire for a new culture. We hire different people from different backgrounds, from early days. Matan Chetzroni, our client manager, was a national news journalist, what is called well, a talent. He was a broadcaster. Our Guy Gold, our creative director, who is a Facebook influencer and a survivor reality star. Danny, our COO, is an open source developer. Adva, my deputy that actually managed the company, was a national news desk manager. Meir was an online shoe shop manager. And we took him as a client manager, as a supervisor. And I can tell you, clients, especially the one that works with e-com, adore his insights. Because if he comes from the bottom. He was selling shoes from a small, one of the small, you know, moms and pops shops online. And big brands that need to reach out, they don't need, I think they need the big consultants and the big consultancy, etc. But they find in our shop, they find in our agency the way of the new culture. Johnny is now an account manager. He was a stylist. And Daniela, that was a community, Moms for Mom. Daniela is here with me, our content strategist. She was, well, a forum manager, Moms for Moms on the web, and she started work with us. Daniela, in her spare time, managing a group on Facebook called Krakow and Warsaw. It's the biggest group on tourism to Poland on Facebook. She came yesterday from the mayor of tourism in Warsaw. Lot is working with her. How many people you have in the group? 35,000 people in the group talking about Krakow and Warsaw. Restaurants, prices, where to go, weather, etc. I went with her. איזה מסעדה היינו? Rojana. Do you know Rojana? We ate yesterday in Rojana. People come and shake her hands. 20% of the people yesterday in Rojana came from Daniela's group. Closed groups on Facebook are a major force for marketing. Major force for marketing. We just had a campaign inside groups on Facebook for a product, for a cheese product. We finished the product in 2 weeks. All over Israel. This is our second campaign. We did one last year. This year, they produced double. People come with the mobile, with the recipe and say, I want this. And it's a small and fresh and relevant content. So hire for culture. Act as a newsroom. If you're a marketeer, if you're an agency, if you're a PR agency, if you're a brand manager, act and try to think as a newsroom. Understand the news around you. Understand how to react to the news. First, and I think Alicia talked about it a little bit, understand your environment. What story do you tell? In what field do you play? You don't need to be a hard news. You're not the New York Times or you're not CNN. If you're on fitness, Understand how to work with news on fitness. Understand trends on fitness. Understand if it's watermelon today or pineapple. And make it a news. Act as a newsroom. Digital is a work in progress. They say the digital is like the jungle. When the light is up, start to run because somebody will eat you. Work in progress. We're living a little bit in a world of Super Bowl. Well, there's one sport, very, very important. All the world going to see it, and the day after, all the world going to talk about it. When you're living in a world of Super Bowl, every detail is important. Every detail is analyzed, is under a microscope. Online, you cannot work like this. You will put your energy in the wrong place. Think about Google. Think about Gmail, the most popular mail by far in the world. The admired company, Google, I saw the logo is everywhere, bigger than Coca-Cola. When they launched Gmail, it was on beta. They had the beta signed on Gmail for more than a year. Well, that is not working, and this is not working, and they're always learning what is not working and changing, Google and Gmail. So you can do the same with your content. Work in progress. Beta test your things. Understand what to promote and not what to promote. People are very, I see clients sometimes something is go online, there's a comment saying, oh, bullshit, or something like this. Ooh, they're looking who to fire. No, it's all right. We can learn from this. Take it out, take it in. And sometimes you say, well, sorry, it's all right. We can continue. Work in progress. This is from our Avas Chicago that leads the way today in new thinking about marketing. I don't have time. Who's responsible? I see -6. So I'm eating your head for 6 more minutes now. Avas Chicago is leading the way, and I really think Avas, I had many opportunity to sell my agency to different companies, also in Israel and globally. But I find in Avas a place that can change, that can really change. I met Yannick Bolloré, our CEO, talking about consolidating creative and media, talking about it's better together, and talking about new frontiers. I think Avas is not too big and not too small, and it's in the right position to change our industry, because the industry needs to change. So this is from Avas Chicago. They're talking a lot about social first and about moving from creative to creators. There's a lot of talks going on around influencers. We divide them to influencers and content creators. Content creators are the ones who know to craft the right content online that will be shareable. We don't bring our creative to the creator. We find different way to add value. We find different way to activate them. First, we know who's the relevant content creators to our brand. T-brand is not going well with a hip-hop content creators, but it will go well with a stop-motion girl that's doing, well, wonderful stuff. So first, we analyze and know who are the content creators. Everything online now is 5, 10 things, 5 things, 6 things. Always put 6 or 8 or 9. Don't put 9 or 10. Don't put 10 or 5. It's not too obvious. So I have 6 things for you to do how to do content right. Identify and embrace trend. You saw 2 or 3 of our clips. We saw the trend, we go with it. We saw the trend, we go with it very, very quick. Very, very quick, because sometimes process is so long with the Super Bowl way of thinking that brands come out with the trend 3 or 4 months later, and it just look lame. You need to go very, very quick. Work closely with data. we talked a lot about data today. Create shareable content. Shares are important. Collaborate with influencers closely. Working with group and create community. Target audience innovatively. The different target audience, not just, white Caucasian 20 to 26, women, men. We target people that eat very healthy during the day and not healthy during the night. We heard them talking. It's an audience. We crafting content for them. Target audience innovatively. Well, I hope I left you with some food for thoughts. Just a quick summary. Hire for culture, build to change, creative to creators. Don't promote all the content. Content before distribution. I'm Sagi Chemetz. You can find me here on Instagram. I'm the guy with no hair. Our company is here, and you can find everything on our blog. We are here to collaborate with Malgorzata and the Avast team, and I will be happy to hear from you. If you have any question, me, Daniela, we are here for you. Thank you very much.